Our government was never against human trafficking. It was literally founded on human trafficking by white men. And I think this case right here, where I'm reading through it, is a case where government keeps doing this, and it's disgusting. Okay, so what did the white man do? Okay, so they removed everybody's agency other than their own, took away their money, and basically jangled money and going, let's see how desperate they are and what they'll do for us. That's exactly what they did, right? So these setups, they're going into other countries where people are financially in need, impoverished, and a lot of corrupt government, just like America, but in some of the worst ways in some other places. And they are trying to set up something to lure desperate people that want money into a situation to bust them for whatever bullshit that he wants to be a hero for a video. Like all these cops and shit, right? Have you guys really sat down and viewed these criminal shows? They're atrocious. Like the whole time it's like, oh, somebody died. But anyway, I'm the one that found the body, and oh my God, and they have to call me because I will find it within an hour, and I am the best at what I do. Praise me, praise me. I'm a man, praise me. And it's mostly white men doing it, but on this one show, it was like a black guy and these other white dudes, and they're just all in their ego over there. And I was like, did somebody die on this show? I think somebody did, but I think it's about the guys, not the dead girl. Oh my God, I have a daughter, man. And like, we got to go out and find this body. Holy crap. Okay, so I know everything. And, wow, that girl was a hottie. She was like 16. She was a beautiful young girl. I would have dated that girl. That's the only reason why we're talking about this story on TV. Because it's somebody I probably would have been with as a minor. Yeah, that's them. Oh my God, all fucking day long. So, when you take away somebody's agency and you put them in a situation where they're desperate to, well, they need to live, right? It's called survival. And so men did this to everyone, okay? To all women and to people of color and to, you know what I mean? You name it, okay? Other than themselves. And they dangle this carrot to go, oh, we can control them this way because we took away all their money and we can get them desperate to have sex with us, which is rape, by the way. But this is our mindset and how their scrambled egg break is going, right? This is a sociopath because only a sociopath would do some shit like this, right? I hope as no sane person would do this because it's just straight up abusive and it's calculated. And they know that what they're doing can manipulate the person from desperation, right? So the country did this to all women, okay? So we're going to take away your right to vote, and only I am going to be able to make a decision for anything. And you have to do as I say. And how dare you call me a rapist abuser? They were all rapist abusers. And they all had a personality disorder. Like, who goes on like that? Right? Okay. So, as far as the Mormons go, that polygamy is human trafficking. It is human trafficking in the worst form. It's also incestuous. It is everything bad. So, of course, they come up with this. And they started, indoctrinating the little girls into this. And then they don't know the world, right? So they're kind of born into this thing, and then they start marrying them off to their closest cousin, and they rape them. It's basically rape, but that's child human trafficking and rape, polygamy. So the thing with Playboy, I was just bringing up the Playboy thing. I go, yeah, government loved Playboy. They loved human trafficking. Oh my God. It's all consensual. Okay. So this is them trying to cover up for them being predators. Take away their money. Let's give some desperation. Will you be with me? Dangle some money. It's consensual. She came over. All right. We feel like a man because I got the control and power. My fucking wallet. Here's my middle finger, women. How dare you sit there and ask for money? You need to ask me for permission. How dare you talk this way, women? We're going to control your speech like a 2-year-old. Yeah. Okay. This is the story. Backpage is a farce. That was a setup from government to target women. That was an obvious thing. Any woman that was involved with that is a male supremacist, and they're a pile of you-know-what. It was fake. It was a fake crusade. And so government's bullshit tailed off this kind of crap right here. And they botched real investigations on groups of people. Why don't we keep that in the public? And also, reminder, your government men were hanging out on Backpage trying to get some girls. That's another portion of that story. No, they had no problem with that, because when I brought it up to government, they said, oh, that's totally fine with the men to be able to do that. If it's on their off time, extracurricular activities. Okay, so here's this. Okay, so woman, I didn't even see this movie, so I don't even know what the hell is in it. I wouldn't give this the time of day. The Sound of Freedom sues Tim Ballard, says her portrayal is defamatory and slanderous. Oh, trust, I told this into a courthouse, and the judge is like, no, it's not. I go, that's not even about me, what they're talking about. It would be different if this is a story about me. Then they're not making up a story about me. They're just being shitty human beings bringing it up. But I'm just like, this is not even true. I don't even know where the hell they got that. But anyway, this is what she's saying about that. And then he's like, I want to jerk off to this thing. Okay, so Moya says she was presented as a child trafficking monster in the movie, but in reality was never involved in any trafficking scheme. Okay, nobody here was involved in a real trafficking scheme, because all it is setups, right? So the setups are just bogus. I think it's evil. I think setups are just stupid. And I've seen multiple states use this tactic. And none of the stuff that I'm talking about is from setups. It's that I was inside something for like 6 years and saw an operation and how it was going. Such as, you know, people that were dealing with Harvey. I mean, they literally know how that shit was going. People that were dealing with Nygaard, you know, they're not setups. It's like you're getting abused in it, and you're trying to figure out like how this is operating, right? It's like a thing like that. But we don't really need to know that, because America, if you just go back to its origin, was to be a Peter Nygaard. Absolutely. And to rape all the women and do it for God. And so it comes from that place of being a sociopath. And it's not just racism that did that, because it's happening across the globe where people are not even white and they are harming their own women. And that's how they feel. These men feel this way, right? So they're the hell of the earth. Okay, so, oh yeah, we're going to take away their power. Hey, what desperate thing can we make these women do? You know how fucking evil that is? You know how fucking evil that is? But this is what he did, because the way that they were explaining this story, I was like, oh, okay, what happened here? So, a Colombian woman who was portrayed in the movie Sound of Freedom as a child sex trafficker is suing Tim and the team behind the movie for defamation because, according to her suit, she was never involved in human trafficking. Oh my God, when I was pulling up the story too on somebody else's site, it had a tag and saw a reminder, a lawsuit is only one side of somebody's story. I'm like, when did this start? Okay. The plaintiff, Moya, spent 18 months in prison before her release, but has never been convicted of any crime. That's messed up. I don't know what happened here. Nonetheless, in Sound of Freedom, which grossed $250 million globally, ain't this a man, right? They're going to degrade you. They're going to rape you. They're going to make up shit about you and fucking empower themselves and be the richest pieces of shit ever. And on lies, dude. And on raping women again. It was so gross. In the name of God, honey. God, what's his shirt say? God's children are not for sale. No, God's children get pimped out on the daily for free. Moya is depicted. Okay, so she's a former beauty queen who kidnapped children under the guise of modeling auditions, piled them in shipping containers, and sold them into sex slavery. Wow. The story in the film centered around the depiction of an undercover operation Ballard staged in which he and others, including Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes, posed as American sex tourists looking for children for sex parties in 3 Colombian locations. They were just being themselves because this is what American men do all the friggin' time. I swear to God. So they will go to other countries, rape the children in other countries and in poor, impoverished areas and sit there and go, well, it was legal. You know, this country let me get some kids on my lap. And, you know, that's what I'm going to do. My name is Kevin Spacey. Yeah, so that's, yes. And the fact that these guys are, that nobody should be going and setting up stings in other countries, because other countries such as like India are so, okay. Countries like India. India has some of the lowest IQs out there, okay? There's a lot of desperation. People need money. The men are raping everybody out there. But the women may feel desperate. Like if you put a lure out there for anything for cash, they will probably agree to anything horrible under the sun. Just because of the way that what's going on over there, right? In the economical situation. So we do see a little bit of that in America, right? When you remove people's monies, a lot of people may have to do desperate things like steal a loaf of bread, right? So it's not, it's evil. It's vile evil from white men here. But in those countries, obviously, Indian. I mean, those people. And when you go to Africa, the same thing. And then there's just some areas where it's just general poverty because it's just the areas, you know, without getting into all that. But, yeah, if you dangle money, oh, here's an opportunity for some power and, you know, freedom and money. They will say yes to anything, even though they're not really agreeing to what you're saying. It's kind of a thing, you know. They could be criminal too and going, yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm just going to take the money and run. I'm not going to do that other shit. Yeah, so it has a feel that that's kind of what they did here. The suit, but America does it too. And I think it's disgusting. The suit filed Friday in 3rd District Court says Moya never took part in 3 meetings in which Ballard allegedly tried to convince several individuals to bring minors to a sex party setup. I would have loved it if they're like authorities, like, oh my God. I like, okay, so Tim and them are trying to do the setup. I would have loved it if their government came in and then busted them for trying to get some kids. That would have been, oh my God, that would have been the best thing ever. I wish I knew about that because I would have tipped off the authorities. Oh God, there's these guys over here that are trying to get some kids for a sex party. You should go bust them. Yeah. Oh, it would have been wonderful. Okay. Anyway, so they were trying to. They said bring minors to a sex party and set up as an anti-trafficking sting. Why are they going to? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so to a sex party as an anti-trafficking sting. Ballard's group created the demand for the minors. The suit says Moya was invited. Her attorneys wrote. And promised to be paid to attend and potentially have sex with one of the men because, despite being an adult, she needed money and looked young for her age. Okay, so that would kind of make sense. Like, they're sitting there going, oh, we want some minors here. She's like, okay, I'll go. I'll just pretend like I'm underage. Probably something like that. I'm thinking. But they are admitting that she needed some money. Like, I think, this is messed up. I was just like, oh my God. Every part of this. But men are such garbage. They have a fucking black hole of a soul. Okay? It's to hell. To fucking hell. Because this guy was with the CIA. The CIA is a bunch of rapists. Homeland, there's a bunch of rapists over there. Okay? FBI, there's a bunch of rapists over there. This is how this football fucking jock asshole culture is going. We're going to be fucking punks to everybody on the fucking planet. How dare you sit there and equate me to a Russian soldier? They're exactly the same. Exactly the same. In life, you're exactly the same. Exactly the fucking same. We rape each other. Okay, according to the suit, yeah, there was a couple people that didn't like that. Good. According to the suit, Columbia, I don't like rape. Okay, I don't like to be raped. So, you know, you could take that elsewhere. And these, okay, documents show that none of the people aged 13 to 30 who attended the party were sex slaves or trafficked. And some had paid to attend the party after seeing an ad on Facebook. They paid to come to the party? Okay. And some had paid to attend the party after seeing an ad on Facebook. Why would they pay to attend the party? Like, I mean, you're talking about a country, Colombia? They paid to attend the party. That needs more explanation. Moya attended unaware of the purported purpose of the party and was arrested because she was mistaken for another woman who had attended the planned meeting but was not at the party. Okay, the image in the court filing. Moya's to the left, and Tim Ballard makes of the Sound of Freedom, alleged in the movies. Okay, and then she was played by some other person on the right. This is, okay, so the suit says Ballard built Moya into a beauty queen turned sex trafficker to create sizzle for the story. Promotional material for Sound of Freedom claim that the characters in the movie is based on a real person. Refers to, I know, here's the thing though, these dumb Christians believe the dumbest stories ever. And when you tell them real life stuff, they disregard it. They're just brain dead. They're cultists. They're male supremacist idiots. Okay. And they're abusers. And this is why. Okay. They referred to Moya by name and said she was a former beauty pageant queen who was nothing short of a monster. In reality, the suit states Moya had competed in a contest to be a neighborhood ambassador for her hometown, but did not win. According to the lawsuit, the depiction of her as a sex trafficker promoted by Ballard in the press and as portrayed in the movie resulted in Moya being reviled, spit on and received death threats. And when I know, and so men are such garbage that when you just they'll let you just kill women on the street. So you just say one bad thing and they'll just take her out. Colombia, yeah, when the movie premiered in Colombia, there were posters with Moya's images next to actresses. That's dangerous. Okay, so the Moya's images next to the actress playing in her movie branded her as the queen of Cartagena. And people once again began sending her hate mail and calling her names at the suit states, leaving her fearful to leave her house. Had the defendants checked the court records of the suit states, they would have known Moya, Ballard's best effort otherwise has never been convicted of a crime, and that she was not a mover and shaker in Cartagena, and that she had no access to children, and that her portrayal in Sound of Freedom was defamatory and slanderous. The attorneys who filed the suit on Moya's behalf are also representing numerous women who have filed lawsuits accusing Ballard of sexual abuse and assault. And are of being complicit in the actions. The lawsuit names Ballard producer Angel Studios, director Alejandro, Operation Underground Railroad, the anti-trafficking organization Ballard founded, and others as defendants. Trust, any version of human trafficking by any man is fake. Because it entails men to look at themselves as inherently a human trafficker because of their male supremacy. And what they're doing is they're sex shaming. They're going after women. That's the thing what they were doing. And I was like, wow, I go, there's really child human trafficking. Trust that. But it's not, in this way that they're presenting, and such as the Jeffrey Epstein thing. It was like, it's probably more casual in the sense that, oh, we're looking for some models for this thing, and then they bring them into somewhere where they're not expecting, and then all of a sudden these men do sexual crimes, right? That's every man that I know. That's literally every man that I know. So, yeah, so sex traffickers. So I don't know why you would go to Colombia and try to do these setups for a party. It's just, it's ridiculous because they could be agreeing to go to the party and having sex, but nothing about the kid portion. And no, I mean, obviously everywhere in the world should be on top of like this topic here, but there's a lot of different things going on in different countries that like I said, the desperation for cash, that where, you know, I might look at that, you know, if I was in that country and go, well, shit, I need some money, you know what I mean? I'm going to show up and just disregard the other part of that. I mean, you know what I mean? It's fucked up. And that's just because of men. It's because of men. And in fact, that's what I believe that's another part of that critical race theory where they were trying to explain that whole dynamic. We're not on a different page on that stuff, at least as far as that goes. Yeah, the systemic thing where they're profiting off of doing horrible things. They keep themselves in power by disempowering everybody else. They continually disempower everybody else. They don't want they don't want equality. They don't want equality, and they're very vocal about not wanting equality, and they think they're the greatest things on the planet Earth, and they somehow deserve what they have. They don't deserve what they have. They stole it from everybody. They stole it from women. They stole it from people of color. They stole it from Indians. They stole it from many of the LGBTQ. You know, there's so much you could say. Oh, Hispanics, yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we're going to hire them to be slaves in our fucking yard. And they kept saying shit like this, right? Yeah, that's, that thing right there is to keep everybody down, to keep white men in power. Absolutely. Why do you think government sat there and was like, $600 is enough to live on for a year? I can't live on less than 600 a day. Like, F those people. They're just fucking loser peasants. They don't deserve anything. We hate humans. How dare you say anything bad about me? We're going to sit there and start taking away your likes on fucking YouTube, which they got caught for yesterday. Yes, they did do that. I was watching it. I was monitoring it. And I was like, well, all I can say from my side is I seen them disappear. I don't know if it's a thing where somebody watched something and maybe they changed their mind and was like, I don't like what you said right here. And then, you know what I mean? Because sometimes that happens. But I was sitting there watching it and it was continually going on. I'm like, yeah, it looks a little funny here. Looks a little funny here. And sure enough, my followers are telling me I kept trying to do this and then it disappeared and it did this. I go, yeah, my comments were disappearing like crazy. And the comments are not even bad. Like, I'm reading it. So I screenshot it. I was like, let me make sure. Am I saying anything outrageous? No. I'm saying they're talking about the cops and their setups on women and how they need to beware that there's leaks and there's setups. There's shit. I said a whole bunch of things, but for some reason, like in those paragraphs, like they just start removing things. It just starts disappearing out of nowhere. And like I literally will put 10 posts and then all of a sudden like 5 of them disappear. And then I have to go back and then do the thing again. And I put it again and it disappears. So it's their, per that thing, it's probably the AI and it probably has a string of like 2 words where they're like, we don't want this here. I don't know. Because I don't think somebody's just sitting there right now going ching, 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 ching. You know what I mean? I don't know. It looks like a programmed thing to just target everybody and control their speech like a fucking Hitler. No, we're not for that. I'm for being able to tell people that their speech is atrocious. I'm not for sitting there just banning somebody because of that. Because we need to tell them and they need to make that choice on their own to change as a person, because muting somebody or blocking somebody does not change that human being. And it's really important that people approach things like that in life and that they need to grow up and stop trying to be a fucking Hitler. That's who they're being. They're being a dictator. So we should not be promoting that conduct, but it would be if you're a churchgoer and you're a male supremacist, you would be a dictator. There's a reason why the word dick is in dictator. Okay, so, and also, yeah, manipulator. Man and manipulator. Dictator, manipulator. That's what they do, right? And I'm just glad that they make it clear that that's what they do. And they want to show off their names in every fucking word. I'm like their names, their gender in every term that they've ever created. Manhood, man, You know, he provided a video allegedly taken on the operation that appeared to show Ballard meeting with Moya and 4 men. Moya's appeared to acknowledge the conversation is about sex work. Yeah, sex work's not illegal. Moya, okay, so you guys should point this out. Moya has appeared to acknowledge the conversation is about sex work. Yeah, that's what they wanted to go after. Sex workers. They want to go after women and sex shame them and do this thing. It had nothing to do with human trafficking. Had nothing to do with child human trafficking. She's desperate for money. She want to go do some sex work. The fact that she was going to agree. Was she going to have sex with Tim Ballard? That's the crime here. That's the crime here if you said yes to have sex with Tim Ballard. No, it's awful. They should not be going into other countries doing that shit. If you go to another country, like such as India, the whole thing is like empowering the women and pulling these trashy men aside and teaching the women not to raise their men into that indoctrination. Because that shit right there is the problem. So it's their own sons, right? Their own sons are out here raping the whole family, their husbands and everything else. And there's a lot to approach with that problem right there. We can't fix it in America. We have no business of fucking having these rapist men go to another country acting like they're not rapists. Human traffickers. Tim Ballard's a rapist human trafficker. What are you doing here? You're raping another country. What are you doing? The women over there. Why do you want to target our gender so much, you sicko? You know, it's this thing. Colton also noted that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement issued a news release after the operation and said 55 child sex trafficking victims, the youngest age 11, were rescued in Operation ICE by Colombian authorities. This is just ridiculous. Can you guys... I would expect... Here's the thing. That's Colombia. I would actually expect all the kids there are being raped by the Colombian government. So... I'm not even going to get into that. This whole thing is a farce from male supremacists in every country. Every country has this problem of a Tim Ballard running it. So they're piles of crap. They're rapists. They were inherently rapists from the start. They're abusers. They abuse children and they abuse women. They will rape each other. That is just the factual truth. You know, it's funny. I don't even want to mention his name again. That Republican guy that was so offensive to everybody kept saying all this shit. But actually, in some of the shit that he was saying, some, not all, okay? Because he was going on suppy over there. But there was a couple things he was saying that was totally spot on. Oh yeah, these guys are raping each other. These gay men keep raping each other. I go, yeah, okay, so there is a thing with that. As they're pointing out, I go, I swear they're all gay. Because I go, they hate women because... they want to spend 24/7 with each other and touch each other and don't want women in their spaces. I'm pretty sure that's a guy that is into men. But they were saying something like that. So once in a while, the extreme, well, whatever he is, pops out something that's like truthful in its thing. And then, but they're child victims. So I was like, they have, okay, if you want to sit there and go after the other shit, fine. But there was something in this that I said, I go, now we're going to just talk about it. Because now we're there. Now we're on that portion where they were talking about something. And I go, wait a minute. And then, yes, Bill Maher's a rapist. He was an outright promoting rape on little boys. And, yeah. And so what was the double standard there? Yeah, that's the thing there. I go, they're all bad. You're all equally bad. Like, so all you should be thrown out. It's kind of like that thing. But yes, but they did bring it up. So I was like, that's funny because there is a truth to that. There is a truth to that. A spokesperson for R called it a new low for the plaintiff's attorney. Of course. The plaintiff's attorney, we're aware, our spokesperson said R was not involved in the production of the movie and did not have approval rights of the script and did not have any financial stakes in the film. And in fact, ours was not mentioned or referred to once in the film. Ours goes on to claim the lawsuit is baseless and another example of the plaintiff's lawyer abusing the litigation process and wasting judicial resources for personal gain. Ballard's launch unfounded series. Okay, so, government loves the word unfounded anyway, but this is really unfounded, okay, because it's all about, again, Mormons and their anti-agency for females, Christians and their anti-agency for females, other countries, whatever their religious thing is, Catholics, they're isn't Colombia Catholic? I'm thinking Catholic. Let's see what they are. Roman Catholic. I'm correct. Ding, 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 ding. See, see, that's how I'm going to learn this. I have to keep looking every time and I'll remember it. I'll finally remember every country's damn religion. Yeah, they're all rapists. Okay, and they all go after kids. Okay, and they're all male supremacists. And they're all sociopaths. And they're all a cult. Okay, on Thursday, Ballard's legal team debuted what is said to be the first in a series of videos where Ballard and his wife, Catherine, seek to offer their perspective on allegations that have been made against him. I would not be this woman. It'd be time to walk out that door. You're on your own. That's the true freedom. Why would you defend some man that is literally degrading you and disrespecting you? He has a disrespect for all women. It isn't just you, for all women. And you enable it. There's nothing to celebrate over any woman putting up with that. She put up with abuse. She needs a head doctor. You know, it's a lot of work to, enable some abusive guy on me and that I keep letting people degrade me and use me as a rug. And so then it makes me bitter and evil and I start abusing other women because I think they're all evil. And my husband is, he's weak because of these other women. This is bullshit, You're nobody to look up to. You're a hot mess. I don't know who told you that there's something noble about enabling an abuser and staying in it. They're that way to everybody. I wouldn't respect your husband. Your husband's a pile of crap. Your husband's the one that comes into my job and totally rapes me. Like that was the whole thing from back in the day. I go, I don't know your men. They're all strangers. How dare government sit there and try to pass off some bullshit that most of my perpetrators, I know them. I didn't know, but almost all of them, I didn't know them. I didn't know the AC camp. That is a perpetrator luring me to meet. How do I know them? I don't know them. That's how perpetrators that's how you meet a perpetrator. They lure you and all of a sudden they attack you, right? I don't know them. I don't know them at all. I didn't know the LAPD. No, I'm just renting a room. How do I fucking know this person I'm renting a room from? I didn't. I didn't know any of those people that I rented from. None of them. They were all strangers and they turned perpetrator. No, I did not know them. Did I know the stalker? Absolutely not. The stalker came up to me. Hey, I'm a fan of yours. Great. Okay. And then next thing you know, 2 years in, they won't stop and they want to murder me. I don't know them. That's incorrect. That information that they're giving is incorrect. You will also know them and they're also strangers. Because the people that are preying on me are known to somebody else. So those people that are preying on me that are known to somebody else is going to prey on those people too. And that's a cycle. So no, I don't know about 99% of the perpetrators that were on me. I didn't know my rapists. There's people that rape me that I have no way of identifying them. I just hope that one day maybe this weird thing will come out. Some pervert taped it or something happened and it comes out. You never know. Or it was on a security cam and just somebody overlooked it and thought it was something else. And then it's put away in their garage. You just don't know. But the thing is no, none of those people, I didn't know any of those people. None of them. I didn't even know that guy from my workplace where they set me up to get raped. No, I don't even know who that guy is. They were somebody out in the job, but I never met them. No, I didn't know any of these perpetrators. None of them. They just preyed on me and then boom, that. No, did not know them. False. The first installment also included a solicitation for donations to Ballard's legal defense fund. In the episode, Ballard says that the women accusing him of sexual misconduct and assault are taking out of context things that he said to them when he was undercover and in character. He's in character. No. And it's in your face, their vomit. It's in your face that they're going to do this shit before they even do it. Like, they're telling you before they do it. They were promoting rape on us, and that's why we got raped. It's an understanding that, and you should be mad. But they want to even control your anger. I'm like, oh, hell no. Nobody's going to tell me I have to say something nice about these men. I will never do it. I will never do it. Nobody's going to tell me how to feel. Nobody's going to tell me I have to say sweet things about people that rape me, people that abuse me, people that threw me in a street because they want to cover up their rapist crimes. No way. But that's what they're trying to do. And they discriminate against me. But they sit there and promote men that promote rape, that promote violence on women, and promote conduct on women that is so vile, which causes femicide, which causes these rapes. They promote that and they will pay them. But when I'm sitting there countering it, saying you're a pile of crap for doing that, they're the extremism, not me. I'm sanity. They are not. And they've constantly flipped that around. They are insane. The rest of us are sane. None of us want to be raped. And that's the house that they want to protect. And this shit right here is just another farce to sex shame, target women, to control women, to throw women in prison. This is the shit that these men have always done. It has nothing to do with human trafficking. Sex work is not human trafficking. You could be human trafficked and into sex, into being raped. Sex work is a consensual act between people. Human trafficking is an action where you're forced into something or lured into something, and something like it could be a disadvantage, such as government removing money from women and making them have to do something. Trust, men could sit there and run around and rape everybody all day. They're not thrown in prison. I wish they all were. Then the world would be a safer place for kids and all women. And they wouldn't be preaching, they wouldn't be able to preach that shit anymore. They wouldn't be able to abuse women anymore to make other women abusers. They're causing that. It's not women causing it on their own. It's men causing it by abusing women, women turning into sociopaths and cult freaks and fucking going out and abusing everybody. You're promoting women to rape young boys. That was you. That's not women. Women did not write male supremacy. Women did not write those religions, period. Tim saw an opportunity, calculated opportunity, for himself because he's a criminal rapist, and saw an opportunity to make money off of women's backs. That is every man I have ever known. She wants the billions of dollars. She enjoys the money. Why do you think she's that desperate? Why do you think she's that desperate? We should question, why do you think she's that desperate? The word is desperate and humiliating herself. But if she gets a divorce, she's still going to get some, I was like, no, but why is she this desperate? You have to question, I think, love, why is she this desperate? This is the most humiliating thing that you could ever be. And why would you love a guy that is sitting there preying on a bunch of women? Your love should die about right there. This whole thing breaks my heart. I'm watching these women, these accusers. They were my friends saying we didn't rescue any kids. They were there. We did take down traffickers. We did rescue kids, Ballard says in a video. I still hold them as heroes, but I can't stand by and let them attack this cause and lie about real life operations where real kids' lives are at stake and my family is at stake. The truth is, you only care about yourself, Ballard, and you're a rapist, and you're a predator, and you're no different than any actual human trafficker. That's the truth. You became the human trafficker. That's just the truth of this whole thing. This is the brain on sociopath, and how they just talk to themselves. It doesn't make any sense, right? I think what I do, I'm a hero in my world. Here, turn on oxygen and let's hear all these guys brag about themselves. Again, I'm sick of it. You're not heroes. You sit there. So, yeah, let's set up a state. Okay, we're going to harm all these people in this village, okay? Now we're going to go in and rescue them. It's kind of like the slavery thing, right? Okay, so white man fucking enslaved people of color. These white men come in and go, well, we stopped it. They're doing with us. Men human trafficked and raped women throughout the ages, okay? They're sociopaths. They're human traffickers. They're vile. They're evil. Deep down inside, they are monsters and do not equate us to you. You are not us. And that's all they see in themselves. They're monsters. That's why they have to say, oh, we're sinners all day long. Yeah, you guys are. Speak for yourself. You're nasty. And you sat there through the whole time raping everybody and the kids. You made it illegal to rape kids. And come out here and go, oh, we're going to now rescue women and kids. We're going to rescue the kids. Well, what's a kid? We need to ask Ballard, what is a kid? Because we see that a lot of you think a kid is under 12. And by 12 years old, you're old enough to have sex. And by 13, you're a total adult. And then it goes on from there. That's been a general rule of thumb across the globe. That's also written in your religions because you're pedos. And for anybody to sit there and say that they don't see that in their own doctrine is bullshit. What's a kid? 17 is a kid. 18, we could categorically probably say is also still a kid. But that's a kid. So why do you only care about kids, though, too? Raping and human trafficking any human being is atrocious, and it should be treated equally the same. Not, oh, she's old enough, we could rape her. It's not a big deal. Okay, that's going on, too. Rapists will rape kids. Rapists rape anybody. Rapists rape kids. They rape adults. They rape animals. They rape anything. They rape your life. They rape your wallet. Yes, you can Kanye is such a good socio. Yes, you could categorically say that a company, if they're taking money from you, is a damn rapist. Categorically, yes. Because that's an action of what a rapist would do. Now, is that company actually doing that, Tim? I have no idea. I just seen the headline. I go, he be trying to get attention again. But it's actually not off the mark. Taking anybody's agency away is a rapist. So money is power. Money is people's agency. Anybody controlling that is a rapist. Because it leaves it where you have no agency. And that's how human trafficking happens. Okay, there's a lot to this. Human trafficking is not about sex. It's about power and control. Do we need to say it again? Sex work is just, it's that. Human trafficking can be done for a million reasons. Somebody needs house help, right? Labor trafficking, just for manipulation for a million reasons. It doesn't have to even be a money reason. So why is government so focused on sex acts? This is another thing. I was like, human trafficking in all forms should be targeted equally the same. Because it's a mindset about controlling humans. Again, it's slavery. That's exactly what they did to people of color. Human trafficking. They just call it slavery. But it's human trafficking. So, in the mix of that, what did they do? Okay, so like the people of color should know what they did, right? So they controlled them. They had them for labor. They raped them. So they did all these things, right? So you know what a rapist is and what a rapist does. And anything in that context there, they could pull out a rapist any day of the week. But also in that is male supremacy. So they're looking at white male supremacy. So they're looking at white men and what they did to them, right? But the male supremacist part of that is the focus, because the male supremacist part is where they got that feeling of, I'm empowered over a group of people. I'm a man, and we're going to control you, and we're going to tell white women what to do, and we also own them at home, and we're going to indoctrinate white women into abusing other people. You know, it's a thing like that. And then we're going to try to pin them against each other. We're going to do this whole other thing. This is what white male supremacists did. But male supremacy itself will do that. So when you look at black men and they're male supremacists, they will fight each other, right? And they shoot each other on the street. They go through their bullshit. I'm man, I'm more tough than you. I'm more tough, punk, this shit. And they start killing people. They start raping women. That's the same mindset. That's the exact same mindset. So that's male supremacy. They can sit there and look at it like, and it really probably doesn't make a huge difference if they want to look at it like, oh, these black men now are being white supremacists. But I don't believe that to be actually categorically correct, because I don't think so. I think that's just there is a root. I mean, the white supremacy came out of male supremacy. So it's just them running with that other shit with it. That's just me, but they could look at it that way. It doesn't matter. But if they see it in the proper context of male supremacy, then they'll see, oh, yeah, they're all rapists and they're all abusers, and the core is that, and we need to knock that down. Yeah, it's exactly that. Because there's nothing outside of it that would, not do that. And they're also racist as well with other groups of people. They're have the same problems because of how they view themselves against women. We need to be strong. We're this person, we're head leaders, and I feel tough by harming other people and abusing power and blah, blah, blah. In the mix of that, sure, they probably are picking up white male supremacist stuff because they're in a culture of that's all they know. But yeah, you can dissect that down. You can look at it however you want to look at it. But it is male supremacy. That is a global problem. And this is Tim Ballard. He's a swine. And there's always a woman to uphold it. That's how they indoctrinated the women to be. That's why it's hard for women to run out of these cults. That's why it's extraordinarily difficult. It is ingrained in them. But the interesting thing is how nature, the thing about this topic, it's interesting how nature lets you know that it's wrong. It's not an outside party. It's not anything else. Nature lets you know you're being abused. It's so weird. I was kind of thinking about that. I go, that is insane, because you don't actually need an outside person to go, you're in a cult. You're being abused. You're having this thing here and it's wrong and you need to leave. No, you have a natural instinct that lets you know that this is absolutely wrong. And I guess it's a survival thing. So like you need to get out of it. Like your brain will let you know you need to get out of the situation or you could die, or you don't have any control. You don't have any agency. Like we're supposed to be free beings. This is abnormal. It's an abnormality. It is not something that's supposed to be naturally occurring. And so it lets you know. Your body lets you know. So I find that really interesting in human development. Like something about that. I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, because you shouldn't be abused. I mean, it's just a survival thing. Like, you need to get out of a situation because you could die. So our thing is to live, right? So these flags will pop up with these people. It's just that they disregard it. And they're told to disregard it. They're told to disregard it. So they brainwash themselves. And so you need to kind of come into that area there. And I don't know. I mean, again, it's a choice. And everybody's different on how they think. But they refuse to leave. It's like any domestic violence situation. They refuse to leave, or they're too scared to leave, or it's just impossible to leave. You just couldn't leave. The instinct, it is, and then they just stay. There's no way in hell I'm going to let some man make me look like a fool up in here. This woman, all these women that keep doing that, they're embarrassing. I don't know. They in their mind feel empowered. No. Not even the women that are props next to P. Diddy. What is that shit? I was like, oh yeah, us women, we like totally, had this goal of being the second woman next to P. Diddy in some video, so I look like hot shit. Those women think oh my God, the arrogance off those women when they were taping them. I was like, I cannot tell you um how degrading that is to our entire gender. I was like, but this is men. They're like, here's my props, dude. How many women can we have on the side of me? I was like, why do women look at that and let men treat them like that? Today, right? It's like we're well beyond, Stupidville from eons ago. We're educated people. And no man should be treating a woman like a prop on his shoulder. That's disgusting. And then to sit there and say that he's not a rapist, I was like, only a rapist would do some shit like that.